Would you cry or would you try to get me? Tell me now, I want you to be glad.
Hello guys, so whoever's gonna watch this video, please excuse the smacking like that. I like that because I haven't had anything to eat and I've been eating very light because I could barely eat because of my stomach being so inflamed, and it's for some reason not being able to eat has caused my mouth to be dry no matter how much water I drink, and I can't even drink that much water. So yeah, that's all I've been doing, all that like smacking. It's like I'm trying not to do it now. It's like I'm trying to swallow, but I don't have enough saliva. So yeah, please forgive me for that. This video is about kind of like getting to know me, laying out some health issues I have. That's a part of getting to know me. And yeah, it's gonna be even more positive things in the future once I get, like I say, once I get this situation over with and get this procedure done Monday. I'll be back. I just smacked. I'm sorry. I'll be back to work, and hopefully all that with my stomach, that whatever the issues going on with my stomach, it'll subside down, and maybe all this dry mouth popping will stop, which I know it's gonna stop. So yeah, so I'm sorry about that, but yeah, so that's pretty much it, and I'm gonna let you all, hopefully you all enjoy my video, and I have some real content coming shortly, like real content. I think my first major content probably will be when I go have surgery Monday, and when I check into the hospital. And yes, and if you all are in the Atlanta area and you need a good hematologist or gastro doctor, I'm not gonna say the gastro doctor, I don't really know about him just yet, but if you need a good hematologist or a doctor for your thyroid issues, anything like that, hey, I got a gang of them that's pretty good. They're gonna look out for y'all, and I can probably refer y'all. It's no money or nothing, but I know how important it is to have good doctors. So yes, and I hope y'all enjoy my video and get to know some of my history in this video, and we can continue to grow here. So y'all, I'm back with a little update. I was trying to do like get some extra content, but I really haven't been doing anything, guys. That last video I made, I was prepping my nails to do my nails. I didn't put no designs on them, no rhinestones or nothing. I was actually gonna do like Christmas tree designs or Christmas wreath designs, or maybe just some different rhinestones, because I do have like Christmas rhinestones that I haven't used, but I just left it at this basic. And yeah, and probably do something after Christmas, maybe like a New Year design. But anyways, I'm back, and the only thing I have to talk about is the update coming up for my procedure that I have Monday on the 23rd. And I'm sorry y'all, I hit the table that the thing is on and it shook. I don't like that. I might take that out, I might not. But yeah, I'm fairly nervous about the procedure that I have coming up Monday, but I have good news in between that. The growth in my bladder is non-existent, pretty much. So that's awesome. And it's when I had that going on with my bladder, I had to go in and have like this gel stuff put in my bladder as well, and it was supposed to help with the growth, inflammation, and pain. And I, you know, as I think back on it, it really did work, because before I had all that going on, before I got the medicine, I will say that, before I got the medicine put in my bladder, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Before I got the medicine put in my bladder, I was having very bad pain in my bladder, back pain, um, blood in my bladder, blood when I urine, as well as what else? Just extreme pain, extreme pain. But I got that taken care of, and so Monday with this procedure that I'm gonna have, I'll be put to sleep, of course. I'll be admitted into the hospital. And then, you know, everything's going to get, I guess they're going to get the show on the road. And we're going to see what happens after that. But I'm really nervous because I don't know, like, what's the outcome going to be. And, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm too young to be having, like, these type of issues. But then, with the food we eat, the processed foods we eat, a working mom all the time, like, I'm always working. When I'm out, I just grab things, you know, and stuff like that. And I just keep going. I really don't stop. Then I try not to drink a lot of water when I'm in the truck because I don't want to have to use the restroom, like stop all the time and use the restroom. And that was another issue that I was having when I didn't know what was going on with my bladder. I was having like frequent urination. Sometimes, like, I remember I counted and I stopped counting after 10, and that was within an hour. So it was probably about 12 to 13 times I went to urine during 1 hour. And I would drink water, but say like if I drank this size of water, just something like, I would just go back to back. And I am a coffee drinker, and I also drink Celsius. That's like an energy drink. I would drink coffee maybe about 4 or something in the morning, and then noontime I'm drinking a Celsius. Or sometimes I wouldn't drink the coffee. I would drink the Celsius in the morning, and Celsius in the afternoon. And given a day, like say like it's a day where I know I'm gonna have a day off the next day and I'm not working the next day, I'll probably have 2 Celsius, and then on my way home I'll stop and get Starbucks or Dunkin's and have another caffeinated drink. So maybe there could be an issue with my bladder as well that causes the issue. I don't know. But I will say I had endometriosis real bad back in after my son was born, my youngest. When my youngest was born, my and it was like during my pregnancy, and I had C-sections. My endometriosis was so bad. That was before I knew I had endometriosis, but it was so bad that when I had my C-section with my youngest, it ruptured my uterus, and I had to get 39 sutures in my uterus. They tied my tubes along with my C-section. So when I woke up, I was like in dire pain. Also, I bled out during the C-section because when my uterus ruptured, when my uterus ruptured, I just remember getting real cold. And I remember a redhead guy leaned over me. He had curly red hair. And all I could see was like he had these red eyelashes and red eyebrows. It was so red. And he said, "Sweetie, it's going to be okay." And I was out. So I had to be resuscitated. And during that resuscitation, they used the electrical shock. So when I woke up, it was like breathing in hurt my chest and my back so bad during that time because the resuscitation device that they used, the electrical resuscitation device, it was like, I'm sorry, I'm still hitting the table. So it was like just extreme pain, you know, along with my procedure that I had done. But leading all that up to say, I guess I just have had issues over time. Just like a few years after that, I was diagnosed with lupus. It's systemic lupus. Before, I didn't know what was going on. All I know was, I'm trying to think, like, because I always have brain fog, y'all. But it was a while ago. So all I know is before they knew it was lupus, they was telling me, oh, well, we don't know what's going on because it's like your immune system is attacking your cells and organs. And so I'm like, what does that mean? They was like, well, we know it could be some type of autoimmune disease. The first thing I thought, I'm like, what is that? Is it like AIDS or something? I didn't know, because I'm like, they was like, well, we test you for all that. It's not that. So I'm like, is it like diabetes? You know, I don't know. Because during that time, I was gaining a lot of weight. And it was like 40 pounds. And the thing about it, I wasn't eating more. I was still active. And I just started gaining weight. But I noticed like I had lymph nodes swollen all under my armpits, all up and down my neck. And when they did a CAT scan, I had multiple lymph nodes in my clavicle region. Anybody who doesn't know what the clavicle region is, and I'm sorry for smacking my mouth, but my mouth is dry. So anybody who doesn't know what the clavicle region is, it's like up in this area, up in here. And I had the lymph nodes swollen under my armpits, all up and down my neck. So they was like, well, we think you have mononucleosis. And the fact that you thought I had mono, you didn't know I had mono, is just crazy. So that was another health issue that I went through. And months later, that was still diagnosed with mono. And I'm like, how can I still have mono? It's ridiculous at this point. So they kept doing tests, but then I kept getting real sick. My job actually told me I had to go home because it was like, it was hot. It was hot, and I was working in a warehouse, and it was really hot inside. And I was walking around like how I am now, with a jacket on, with the hoodie on. I had hair back then. That was before I lost my hair. So I was walking around with a jacket on, hoodie on my head, wrapped up with a scarf. My ears, I had my earmuffs on because for some reason I had very bad ear pain. Like my ears was hurting so bad, and I was having like these really bad headaches during that time. And to give you a good time frame, that was probably 2014. Yeah, I would say 2014. So I went from the endometriosis, ended up getting pregnant again, had my baby boy, ruptured my uterus, turned around, got sick again. They told me it was mono. After months of just, I guess, prying and, you know, back and forth to the hospitals and specialists, they found out it was lupus. Then fast forward to 2000, I think 16 or 17. If it was in 2016, it was at the end of 2016. I'm trying to think. Yes, it was in 2016, because I know, TMI, I got locked up. I went to jail in 2016, and when I was in there, they was telling me they do blood work and everything on you when you get in there. And the fact that I was locked up in Clayton County, Georgia, and I'm from Albany, Georgia, there was, how can I say this? There was a nurse there who was doing my evaluations and blood work, and she knew my mom. Her and my mom had went to school together, so she was communicating with me very well. She even called my mom to tell her that I was incarcerated. But that incarceration is a time for another story, why I was locked up. But anyways, so how can I say this? I had the weird blood work going on, and she was asking me about it, and she was like, do you have any autoimmune diseases? And I was like, yes, I have lupus. And during the time I was taking the steroids for the inflammation, and she had noticed that I had a bald patch in the back of my head. And anybody who knew me around that time, or who was around me around that time, they know I had like this small patch. It wasn't even big as a quarter. Maybe a nickel size patch in the back of my head, like in the nape area of my head, maybe. And she noticed that because I had some hairs, like fuzz hairs growing down my neck. She noticed the hairs down my neck was it was patchy. So she was checking me, and she noticed that I had patches on my arms because I was a hairy person, so I had patches on my arms and patches on my legs. And she was like, with the blood work that she did, she's letting me know I needed to go see a endocrinology doctor. So I was like, what's that? And she was like, that's the doctor you need to see for your thyroid. So months later, after I got out, probably in 2017, because after I got out, only thing I was thinking about was going to work. Making sure, and I thank God, because during that time, let's say, I'm just gonna say my manager was really cool. His wife was actually my WM. Anybody who knows what the WM is, then you know. And he looked out for me and made sure I had my job. Like literally, I was working day shift. I got out of jail that night. I went to work like a few hours, like 2 hours after I went to jail. I literally got out of jail, went home, took a shower, put on clothes, and went to work at night. It didn't matter the shift. I just know I needed some money to come in, and I needed those funds, and I needed them fast. So I went straight to work. My job wasn't extreme. All I did was bill orders, medical equipment, not medical coding or medical billing. I billed literally manufactured orders for a company called Drive Developers. And so I did that, and I guess, you know, I just kept working. I'm sorry, my dog was crying, y'all. So, but yeah, I did that and kept going. Just kept working. Still kept feeling bad, gaining weight for no reason. I went from like 120 something to 160, from 160 to 180. And so by the time I seen the endocrinology doctor, I was diagnosed with something called Hashimoto's. So that was in 2017, I think. Yeah. So I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid condition that causes you to gain weight. And it correlates, which go hand in hand with lupus. A lot of people with lupus will suffer from other autoimmune issues, like Hashimoto's. So yeah, so we don't know if I lost hair. When I started losing my hair, we don't know if it was from the lupus or the Hashimoto's, but they call it lupus hair loss. But I lost it everywhere. So that was back in 2020. I lost all my hair, and once it really started coming out, it started like, it's weird. My hair didn't come out. I see some people with alopecia, their hair starts like in the front. Mine started right here in the top of my head and in the back of my head. It was just like random little spots, and it got so out of hand. I just shaved it off, and now I don't even have to shave. It's just bald. I get little fuzzies, but the little fuzzies in my hair is like gray fuzzies, and they just like fall off within sometimes a matter of days. And like if I'm under the weather or I'm struggling with my sinuses or allergies, it'll completely fall off. So yeah, that's a pretty much update. And with everything that's going, this is mostly just to get to know me and who I am, I guess. And also I'm rambling and talking as usual. And also like with my stomach issues that I'm having now, I've always had stomach issues. They have just gotten out of hand, And this is going to be TMI, so I'm going to warn anybody who wants to get off this, stop watching this. This is going to have something to do with poop, blood, vomiting, and gut issues. Total intestinal issues. Fair warning. I'm telling you. I'm going to walk off and come back. I gave y'all time to leave. Here it goes. So, in October of this year, 2024, I fell down a flight of stairs in my apartment complex. I cracked my tailbone, which is my coccyx. The coccyx bone, which is the tailbone. And it was hurting so bad. I didn't know what it was, but the day that I fell, I didn't feel anything. I was taking my 3 kids to their doctor's appointment, because I do all their doctor's appointments on the same day. So even though I was like 15 minutes away from the doctor's office from where I live, I still had to leave early because of traffic in my area. So we were rushing, and I slid all the way down those stairs. I slid so hard, my nose ring popped out. And with my nose, and I have a curve, not the hook, but the curved nose ring. So it popped out. My pen on my cell phone popped out. That's how hard I feel. And I didn't think to go get medical help, attention or anything. I just, I brushed it off and I just kept going, because I was like, I'm not hurting. I'm not in any pain. My kids was like, they were shocked. But when they saw that I was okay, they started laughing. And I noticed when I was driving, I had like tingling in my thighs. I didn't think anything of it. By the time I got to the doctor's office, which was like 20 minutes later, when I pulled my seatbelt off, I noticed my hip. When I rubbed my hip, it felt funny. So I rubbed my hand on my hip, and I didn't feel it. It was numb. So pretty much for 3 days after I fell, I was numb around my waist area, hip area, and I was still going to work, climbing in and up off the trucks, and dealing with trailers and everything like that, and even containers. And a lot of people who don't know, container doors are heavy. They can have a lot of pressure and weight. And I was feeling pain every now and then, like striking pain in my tailbone area and in my pelvic region. And I just kind of ignored it, because I was like, I'm gonna get this work week out the way and get all my hours and run my clock up, and when it's time to reset, then I'll go to the doctor. And that's what I did. And during that process, by, say I fell Monday or Tuesday, by Friday I couldn't urine, and by Friday I haven't had a bowel movement since that Tuesday. I usually have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, easy. So for me to go from having normal bowel movements multiple times out the day, at least 2 to 3 times a day, to none, it was like I felt crazy, because I felt like I just had too much inside of my body. So my plan was to go to the doctor Monday. I went Sunday night because I couldn't use the restroom. I went to the hospital and told them what happened, and that's when they did a CT scan on my pelvic region, and they found out that I had cracked my coccyx, which is my tailbone. So I'm gonna have to finish this story up. Okay, so back to the story. They found out that I had broke my coccyx, which is my tailbone, and so they just started giving me, and during that time, that night, they started giving me like inflammation pills, hydrocodone, anything to calm the pain down and get the inflammation out. But also, they was like, the next day they called and they was like, well, no, I'm sorry, the hospital didn't call. They called my doctor's office, my primary care. And my primary care doctor's office called me and she was like, we need to have an appointment as soon as possible. So when I went into my appointment that same day, she told me that, well, we see something going on with your bladder. There's a growth in your bladder. And so I'm just assuming, okay, so what's next? So I had to go see a urologist. I went to the urologist like a week later. Had some work done with my bladder, and then I had to wear this catheter thing, have this like gel, or I don't know, like some kind of Vaseline gel stuff. It was like clear, but it was like it had a tint of brown to it. And they put that in my bladder through a catheter, and I sat with that for like an hour, and it was painful. Then they had to go in and like inject it out, like use some type of pressure and get it out. And then they did like a flush with like some water, a watery substance. They did a flush, and I released that flush back out into the catheter, and they measured it to make sure that all of it came out, and that was painful. That was extremely painful. But I had all that done. So now I'm going in Monday, which is December 23rd, 2024. And I'm having another procedure done. I'm semi-nervous. So, yeah. Because the issues that I'm having, blood in my stools, sometimes, well, I only did this once. I was on my way to work that day in particular. And I got sick on the highway on 75. And I was stuck in traffic, and I was throwing up all over myself, and I had blood in as I vomit. So I turned around, finally was able to turn around and head back home, and I had to stop because I had to use it. I had diarrhea so bad. I stopped at a sporting goods store. I don't know if it was Dick's or Athlete, I don't know, but I stopped at a sporting goods store to use the restroom. And when I stopped there, it was like I was in the restroom for a long time. When I was wiping, I just know it was just blood clots of blood coming out in my bowels. It was loose mucus and clots of blood. I felt like I was going to pass out. Even before I saw the blood, I felt like I was going to pass out. But it's like when I saw that blood, I just knew, like, I'm a faint. But I made it home and made it back to the hospital. And they was like, well, we can't see. They didn't do no scans or anything. They was mashing on me, but they couldn't mash on me. And when he mashed on my left side of my stomach, he was like, you're gonna have to go and see a gastro doctor, a gastro doctor for your stomach, because they did a rectal exam, a physical rectal exam. That was uncomfortable and painful and disgusting. But they did the rectal exam and they didn't find anything. So maybe like a week or so later, I went to the gastro doctor. And he was like, well, you're 37, you're young, you shouldn't be having these issues, and you should not even be here. But before, I had gastro issues before. Even in 2020, I had H. pylori, and that was treated. But I had gastro issues before, and I had like 3 colonoscopies. I was supposed to go like every year to get a colonoscopy because of just bad IBD issues. Like, my intestines always been messed up. So now I got to go back, and we're going to see what's going on Monday. So hopefully everything is fine. And I'm just going to stay like prayed up. So yeah, so anybody, for the little people in my community that I have right now, anybody who's listening or watching my videos, please send out big prayers to me if you pray. Send positive energy my way. I'm all about the positive. Bring me the positive. And of course I'm gonna give positive back. But yeah, so that's just a regular update for now. I will be updating you all probably the day before my procedure or the day of my procedure. Probably when I, because I'm gonna have to be admitted in the hospital Monday morning. Yeah. So on my way being admitted to the hospital, I'll be probably giving you all updates of when I'm, going up there, when I'm being taken up there. So yes, and in the meantime, you all take care and be at peace. Do your body good, and yes, toodles.